Yo, what's up everybody? Long time no video make. Yes, before you ask, I did shave, although not completely on purpose. I was trimming the other night. I have one of those beard trimmers with the different attachments so you can trim to different lengths and shit. So I'm trimming away, and I go to make a big upstroke on this side of my face. The fucking attachment pops off and takes about half my goatee off with it. So the whole thing had to fucking go. It was unsalvageable. My girlfriend does approve of the goatee-less look, though, so that's good, because her opinion matters a whole lot more than mine on most things. But I'd be lying to you if I told you I didn't miss it. Yeah, I miss having something to thoughtfully stroke while I listen to a really deep, intelligent, important YouTube video. And that's going to be a particular problem for me tonight, because I got a think piece for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Put on your thinking caps! There's a guy out there on the tubes, goes by the name of Righteous Response. Now, apparently the Rational Response Squad needed a Christian counterpart, and this guy was nice enough to set that up for him. He's made a video called The Atheist Test. And being an atheist who loves taking tests, I knew I couldn't pass this video up. So I want you, yeah, that's right, you and me, to take this test together. Let's do it, shall we? Let's see what it's all about.
Hey YouTubers, this is Steve B with RighteousResponders.com, RighteousResponders.com. I wanted to do this video called The Atheist Test. Now, I'm sure you have, and I've had a lot of people come to me saying I'm an atheist and there is no God.
Who? Where? Show me one. Have one come over to your house and make a video. Point out a video here on YouTube with an atheist in it saying that. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, once again, a theist stumbles right out the gate by setting up his entire argument as a straw man. Alright, but I've made a decision, because the straw man has a tendency of removing all credibility from the rest of the video. So I could probably just stop it here and rip this guy for about, 10 more minutes and be done with it. But I've made a decision that I'm going to ignore the straw man so that we can take this test together. So I'm going to ask that you do the same. Let's ignore the straw man, let's pretend that this entire argument isn't completely fucking bunk, and let's move on and see what the man has to say.
So I wanted to do a test. So I would just ask that this will be a challenge to atheists, or people claiming to be atheists. And so let's get started. I don't believe in atheists, and neither does God. This isn't because I haven't met people that claim to be atheists, but simply, let's imagine that you are a professing atheist. I will ask you two questions. First, do you know the combined weight of all the sand on the beaches of Hawaii?
No.
Now, if you're honest with yourself, you're going to say no.
Sweet! Oh man, I'm totally going to fucking ace this test. This is a cakewalk.
Now, let's say that you are an incredible 1% of all the knowledge in the universe.
Can you rephrase that question, please, Professor? That didn't make a lick of fucking sense.
You have 1% of all the knowledge in the universe.
Oh. Okay, thanks.
To know 100%, you would have to know everything. Absolutely everything there is to know.
Yeah, that would be 100%, wouldn't it?
There wouldn't be a rock in the universe that you would not be intimately familiar with, or a grain of sand that you would not be aware of. You would know everything that has happened in history, from that which is common knowledge to the minor details of the secret love life of Napoleon's great-grandmother. You would know every hair on every head and every thought of every heart. All history would be laid out before you, because you would be all-knowing.
Does he sound bored to anybody else? I'm going to give you a little bit of advice before we move on with the test, Righteous, because I'm a nice guy. If you're going to make a YouTube video defending your position or attacking someone else's, it's always good to be able to speak your own ideas and opinions, and not read them off of some website. Because, contrary to what you might think, most people on YouTube that are interested in the atheist-theist debate can actually read for themselves. Yeah, that's right, motherfucker. I can read to myself. And the voice that I hear in my head when I read to myself has more panache than you do. Okay? So next time you're going to sit down to make a video that you have to read off of some fucking cue card, don't bother. Because if I wasn't making a response to you, this is where your video ends for me. Because I'm totally bored. You're bored. I can tell you're bored. Think how bored I am watching it. Let's move on.
Bear in mind that one of the greatest scientists who ever lived, Thomas Edison, said we do not know, humans do not know, a millionth of 1% about anything.
And? What's your point? Yeah, that's a good Edison quote, and that's a real scathing indictment of atheism, too, by the way. You know, you really inspired me. I went to check out some Edison quotes of my own. I found a few. I wanted to read one to you. This is from an interview that he did on October 2nd, 1910 for the New York Times Magazine. Edison says, "Nature is what we know. We do not know the gods of religion. And nature is not kind or merciful or loving. If God made me, the fabled God of the three qualities of which I spoke, mercy, kindness, and love, he also made the fish that I catch and eat. And where did his mercy, kindness, and love for that fish come in? No, nature made us. Nature did it all, not the gods of the religions." It's a pretty interesting Edison quote there, isn't it? You know, you might want to find something out about the person that you're going to use, or you're going to use a quote of theirs to support a theistic worldview. It would have been nice to know what Edison really had to say about theology, wouldn't it, before you just kind of throw a quote out there because you found it on a website. Anyway, moving right along.
If you insist upon disbelief in God, what you must say then is, having the limited knowledge I have at present, I believe that there is no God. Owning to a lack of knowledge on your own part, you don't know if God exists. So in the strict sense of the word, you cannot be an atheist.
No, actually I can. Let's not get your lack of knowledge about atheism confused with truth here. I'll set you straight, though. I'm a de facto atheist. Now, I don't make absolutist statements like, there is absolutely 100% no God, and I know that for a fact. Because I don't know. I'm amenable to argument, alright? If I see some evidence of God, I got no problem changing my position. But until then, I lack a belief in God, alright? And I live my life assuming that there isn't one there. Just like I live my life assuming that there's not a leprechaun living up my ass with a big stinky pot of gold. Well, why would you make such an absolutist statement like that, paulsego? Well, up until this point, I haven't shit out a little green hat with a little four-leaf clover in the brim. Alright? Until the time that I start shitting out little green hats or little corncob pipes, I'm not going to lend any credence to the idea that there might be a leprechaun living up my ass. Alright? Do you understand the position now? Do you understand the difference between the straw man atheist that you set up and real atheism? Do you understand that your entire video doesn't hold true for 99% of every atheist on the fucking planet? Let's wrap this shit up.
It is said that Mussolini, the Italian dictator, once stood on a pinnacle and cried out, "God, if you're there, strike me dead." When God didn't immediately bow to his dictates, Mussolini then concluded that there was no God. However, his prayer was answered sometime later.
There's so much wrong with what you just said. It's so mind-numbingly stupid that I don't know where to start. First of all, it's obvious that you know nothing about Benito Mussolini. So once again, you're reading somebody else's work, somebody else's ideas and opinions off of a website somewhere. Mussolini, the Italian dictator Mussolini, he went up to a pinnacle one day and said, "God," hold on, let me put on my Italian accent. "God, if there is a God, strike me down." And God, of course, he didn't want to do it that day because he wasn't feeling up to killing nobody. But then later, like a few years down the road, Mussolini went ahead and died anyway. The fuck does that prove? You're gonna die. I'm gonna die. Mussolini died because he's a human, alright? You're gonna die no matter how hard you pray to God not to let you die, or no matter how many times you ask God to kill you, you're gonna die one way or the other. Everybody fucking dies. That's a pointless fucking statement, but a perfect way to wrap this fucking video up. I give myself an A+. I give you watching an A+ too. Till next time, everybody, paulsego says peace.